Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, and welcome one and all to the best show in town. The only show where you get a star like Mr. Philip Brady, who's as famous as Neil Armstrong, as tonight man put something back on the moon since the first time since 1972. Well, apparently it was supposed to land at 9:24, but I think it's hit some traffic on the way to the moon. Has it?
Yeah, there was a traffic jam on the moon equivalent to the M50, and it's got held up. It's now going to land at 11:24.
Apparently, Martians from Mars are on their way to remove the traffic out of the way.
No, it actually ran into a few Arsenal fans who got lost on the way back from Porto last night.
Yeah. Listen, if you're wondering what we're rabbering on about, apparently tonight there's going to be what is it? Is it a robot? Is it a satellite?
It's a lander or a lander. It's kind of a satellite, a small satellite thing that'll gather up technical data and send it back to Earth.
So they know where to land it when they go back there next year.
Probably, yeah, probably.
Do you know what I think they missed the trick here, Philip? They should have landed it where Apollo 11 landed, just to prove to everyone we did go to the moon.
I think we did, I think.
Do you really think we did?
Yeah, of course we did. Because there wasn't the technology back then to fake it. There might be now, but there wasn't then.
What was used in a computer to take Apollo 11 to the moon runs my toaster.
Oh, I know, yeah, that's what I mean. And but that was okay. They have you seen the film about doing up the stats for that thing?
Yeah,
there's piles of paper about that high.
Yeah.
Right, and there was more power on an iPhone than there was on the actual lunar landing module. But to fake that, they didn't have the technology in the film industry to do it, like they have now with AI. They couldn't have done it. So the moon landing did take place. Yeah, it did. I know you're doubting. I know you don't believe it, but that's
funnily enough, Philip, I do believe we landed on the moon, but there's a lot of people out there that don't believe it, that think it is.
Yeah, well, the same people think the Earth is square. So
is it?
No.
Are you sure?
No.
Anyway.
Well, if it's square, I think nobody's fallen off it yet, which is quite an achievement,
That is a very big achievement. But Philip, tonight, what we're talking about, it is the football debate. We are talking about a few things. We're going to talk about Jim Ratcliffe and his ridiculous trying to use taxpayers' money. We're going to talk about the FA Cup not going behind the paywall, where it goes to TNT. We're going to look at also, Philip. We're also looking at financial with clubs with FFP as well, the top 5 in the league, and also we're going to look at the pyramid. Where does the money go? Yeah. So, Philip, do you want to? If I bring up the chat, do you want to welcome people in and I bring them in?
Yeah, first of all, can I just say, I think after we finish with them tonight, Jim Ratcliffe, I wish he was on that moon landing. But anyway, Ellie's in the house. How are you, Ellie? Ellie is saying, here we are. Big up Dermot and Philip. Looking forward to this debate. I know you both well enough to know it will be a true and honest opinion from both of you. Well, hopefully, Ellie. Yeah, I hope you're keeping well. And Theo is as well. And again, Ellie's saying, smash that like button all in the chat and welcome from Queen Ellie Hoiberg too. Very good. And also this guy, I don't know what we can't get rid of this fella. We keep saying good evening, everybody, So the chat is quiet enough at the minute, but I'm sure once we get started, it will liven up a bit. Before Dermot puts up the thing, I think you may have seen that. I think it was on Tuesday. Jim Ratcliffe completed his 27.5% purchase of Manchester United, which still leaves the Glazers in charge of far too much of it, in my opinion. But anyway, that's their problem. And as you're probably also aware, Old Trafford is a bit like a crumbling mausoleum of a football ground that's got a lot of work needing to be done on it. So Mr. Jim Ratcliffe, or Sir Jim Ratcliffe, as he likes to be known, has now come out with this ingenious idea that they'll build a new stadium, the second Old Trafford, somewhere in the Manchester area, but they're going to get the taxpayer to pay for it. The good old taxpayer who pays for everything. And to be honest with you, unless you're a Manchester United fan living in the north of England, I think you'll realize there's an awful lot better causes, 1.5 or 2 billion, or whatever this is going to cost, could be spent upon, like getting people houses, getting people jobs, and sorting out the infrastructure that seems to be falling apart in England at the minute under the Tories. Now, I'm not political, but I know enough to think that there's going to be a change in government in England next year by the looks of things, when the election comes along. And for some reason, I cannot see the Labour government authorising a huge lump sum payment to build a football stadium, which is effectively a luxury item in this day and age. And I think that Jim Ratcliffe is barking up the wrong tree if he thinks that people are going to bow down and accept that his reasoning. Let's face it, if he can afford to put $1 billion or whatever he paid into Manchester United, I'm sure he's a few more bob stashed away that he could put into the stadium and build it himself, like Tottenham did, like most other clubs do. Even the small clubs like Brentford, they built their own stadium. I think Everton are at it as well. Spurs built theirs with a hefty bank loan, and we've now got the best stadium in the world, and we're not touching our hats to anybody for outside funding. So anyway, Dermot will be back in a minute, and we'll continue this discussion. Let's carry on with who's in the chat here. Ellis again is saying, Philip the Godfather Brady, your lamp made it on to 8 out of 10 cats. I'm not in that room, Ellie. I'm not in that room tonight.
I saw it. It was on there. Ellie sent me proof. It is on there. Your lamp was on there. I have the proof. Your lamp made it to 8 out of 10 cats do countdown.
And what's 8 out of 10 cats do countdown? Pardon my ignorance.
It's an 11 o'clock version of countdown. How
the hell did it get onto it?
Well, your lamp walked out of your house, got onto a plane, went over to England.
Yeah, I think it was missing there for a while, all right.
Yeah. Well, there you go. I'm telling you, Ellie. I'll send you the picture. Ellie sent me a video of it. I will send it to you, Philip.
I do.
But your lamp made it on to 8 out of 10 cats do countdown.
Oh my God!
So there you go.
Can we get royalties for that?
Yeah, probably.
Anyway, Carl Simpson's in the house saying, "Good evening, gents and Ellie. How you, Carl? How's it going?" And Ellie is shouting back at him. No, Carl's in the house. Yeah. And Talking Beer is in. How you, Talking Beer? More FA to the US.
I think he means move the FA to the US.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Kidding, just being selfish. And yeah, move. He comes in with move there now. So Dermot, I gave my rant about Jim Ratcliffe. Time for yours now.
I'm big up to Ellie. She's saying Talking Bear. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Right. It's like Jim Ratcliffe, right? He's a millionaire. Now, we're Tottenham.
He's a billionaire. Yeah.
When Tottenham built their stadium, they got funding of the Bank of England, which they took out a loan.
And paid it back.
They paid it back, which is the right thing to do. Jim Ratcliffe plays over 1.5 billion for 27% shares of Manchester United.
Yeah.
Right. And then has the cheek to say, I'm going to go and talk to the government. We use taxpayers' money and we're going to build Wembley of the North. Well, I'm sorry. Stick your Wembley up the north, far up your ass. There's only one stadium. That's the National Stadium, and that is Wembley Stadium. And I agree with Simon Jordan when he said this. It's everyone wants to come and play at Wembley. Everybody wants to. You look players around the world. What's the one stadium, Philip, they want to play at?
Wembley. Oh, sorry, Wembley. Yeah.
Wembley. Yeah. Okay, Wembley's not Wembley. As he said, because of the Twin Towers, but there's the arch there, and it's still the National Stadium.
Yeah.
Now, we all know Old Trafford needs refurbishing or something done to it. It's not
it needs bulldozing.
Yeah. It was the stadium where games were played in the European finals, in the European Championships, but because they've let it go, it's not been picked.
It's not even on the list anymore.
No. But I am telling you now, he has a fucking cheek to ask taxpayers' money to build a stadium when he's a fucking billionaire.
Yeah. But it's also done. Like, I mean, the economy in Britain, technically they're in a recession at the minute.
Well, they are, yeah.
Well, I mean, and just to even make a suggestion of spending that type of money on let's face it, an entertainment complex, when people haven't got houses to live in, when there's not enough jobs to go around, when people are struggling, it's an insult. I'm such out of touch with reality, would be the best way to put it. It's okay for him going to in his fancy country club and his Rolls Royce and whatever. You should take a walk down Manchester, High Street, Manchester, and all the time. See the homeless people living in there at the supermarket trolleys and get an idea what's really needed in Manchester and northern
He's supposed
areas.
to be a Manchester lad.
Well, he's probably living down in Surrey at the minute.
And also, Philip, I think it's a cheek to even go to the government and ask the government, can the taxpayers pay for this?
Yeah, it is.
Taxpayers pay their tax, Philip, for hospitals, for the roads, for other essential services that keeps that country going. It's like say Shamrock Rovers, right? Go to the Irish government. We want to build a new stadium, okay? But could you get the Irish taxpayer to pay it? The first thing the Taoiseach would tell them to do is get out of my office as fast as you can carry yourself.
Yeah, but when Casement Park in Belfast puts their hand up looking for money, the government hands them 50 million.
Yeah, but really, who's paying that? Is it the
it's a European fund, I'm sure, but the fact it's technically supporting the GAA, the Gaelic Athletic Association here in Ireland. It's giving them money to build a new stadium in Belfast. Okay, which is going to be used for the Europeans in 2028, right? But I can see that stadium is only costing 200 million, and there'll be more trouble about that. So Jim Ratcliffe's going to spend 10 times that on Old Trafford. You can expect an awful lot of flack coming from a lot of directions. I can't see it ever happening. I really can't.
But it's the principle of the cheek to say, I want taxpayers to pay for my stadium. He's a billionaire, for Christ's sake.
I know. He could probably pay for it himself if he wanted to.
Yeah, and it's like saying people work hard enough and pay their taxes and pay their national insurances, or like we pay over here. And tax is supposed to go into government's coffers to pay for essential services, to pay for ambulances, to pay for roads, to pay for stuff like this. So when he says, I want taxpayers to pay for my stadium, he should realise he's got a massive cheek.
I can just imagine Del Boy if he heard this. He'd say, I don't pay my taxes to build a new football ground.
Yeah, exactly. So what do you think should happen?
No, I mean, but if you get the joke, I don't pay my taxes. So anyway.
Back in a minute, Phil. Give me 2 minutes.
Anyway, let's go back into the chat. I think we've done most of these, haven't we, already? Let's see if there's any more. Yeah, Ellie's saying, this is good. We're talking beer, yep. And saying, Dermot's got the pic. I sent him, Philip, your exact lamp, and it was leaning. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's a bit of an antique, that lamp, actually. So it used to be my mother's. Ellie is laughing at something there.
Sorry, Philip, I have to jump off for 5-10 minutes. I'll be back.
Put something up for me to discuss there, will you?
Yeah. Sorry, Philip. I apologize about this, and then I'll be back as quickly as I can. I'm sorry.
All right, here we go. Now, this is completely unrehearsed, lads, so I'm winging this. Right, this is the history of the Premier League's UK TV deal, starting from when the Premier League came into existence in 1992. So you can see Sky Sports, as it was known as B Sky B at that stage, I think. They got a 4-year deal or 5-year deal for 304 million. Okay. Then it was renewed in 1997 and doubled in price, and more than doubled to 670 million. And from then on, it was a split between Sky Sports from 2001, Sky Sports and NTL Premiership Plus, 1.1 billion. So you can see the trend here. It's gone up by about 350 million every time. And then 2004, 3-year contract, Sky Sports again went down a little bit there by just slightly down to 1.024 billion. But then back in 2007, back to reality again, an extra $500 million on top of it, 1.7 billion to Sky Sports and Setanta. So that lasted until 2011, when Setanta and Sky Sports renewed it again. But the price had jumped up again, not that by that much, about 0.7 billion, up to 1.782. So then we're getting into close to the current day now, 2013, 2016. Sky Sports and BT Sports, 3 million and just over 3 billion, which that's a huge increase. That's nearly 60% more than the previous deal. And then again, 2016, Sky and BT again, another 2 million added on to it, 5.136 billion. And now the next one is starting this year, Sky Sports, Amazon Prime, and BT Sport, 4.5. Now it's come down a bit. And actually, that mightn't be too bad because I'm open to correction on this, but am I right in saying that if you're an Amazon customer and you buy stuff from Amazon, you're a member of Amazon Prime, so you may not be paying the big buck to see your free to your pay to view TVs there. Now I'm going to tie this in with what I think that there's a guy on the radio here in Ireland yesterday from the copyright people, trying to stop what they call the dodgy boxes. Now, we all know what the dodgy box is. It's an IPTV thing that you buy for maybe 50 or 60 quid a year, and it may not last too long, but if it does last, it gets you all the channels from all over the world, all the free to air pay-per-view channels, the whole lot like that. Now, they do claim that it's owned by criminal enterprise and that you're open to getting your details hacked and spread around, computer identity theft and everything if you buy one of these things, But if you can buy one of those for 50 or 60 quid for a year, what are you going to do? Are you going to buy that? Are you going to pay Sky 100 quid a month or more to watch the stuff legitimately? And that's why a lot of people are resorting to these. If you go onto Twitter, you'll see about 20 ads from different companies all advertising dodgy boxes. And they don't call them dodgy boxes, obviously, but they're now I've had access to one for a while, and it's impressive enough. You'll get all the channels. They might be lagging a little bit, maybe a minute or so behind, and they are subject to a good internet connection. But I can see why they're going to become popular, and the government have a job on their hands. Now, I do know in England the other day, I think it was Ofcom is the regulator of communications over there, refused to allow the satellite companies put up their charges because they wanted to increase them again, and they wouldn't allow it. Now over here in Ireland, they're going up. They're literally going up 7 or 8%. We're kind of a captive audience here. We only have 2 or 3 suppliers that work in Ireland. We have Vodafone, we've got Air, and we've got Sky. So that's that. So you can see the money is there. Now, how that money is divided up, there is a slide going up how much the Premiership gets for each game, and I've no access to put this up, so I'm afraid I can't even remember what it is, but it's something like, I think it could be 8 million per match that's shown live on TV. That particular deal works out at 4.5 billion, but it works out about 8 million per match. And how that is divided up between the football teams, I don't know. No one seems to actually know that particular way of doing things. But I'm going to go off on a tangent now, just until Dermot comes back, and compare that to a couple of things we have here in Ireland. Now, this may not be of interest to anybody, but it'll give you an indication of the difference in the pricing structures. As you know, we've got a sport over here called GAA. It covers GAA football and GAA hurling, and also a ladies' game called camogie. Now, 9 years ago, the GAA organized a thing called GAA Go. It was an online streaming service to show certain matches on the internet. And it was free to air for about 7 or 8 years. But then a couple of years ago, they decided they were going to charge a fee. Now, the fee they charge for a season's fee is €79, which is about £65 sterling, £70 sterling. And for that, you get 38 matches live. Right? Now, that works out at about, what, £2 a match? Not bad value. But it caused an absolute furore in Ireland because the way the Irish social scene is worked out, there was an awful lot. GAA is very popular with mainly the male population in Ireland, right? And an awful lot of the male population are farmers, maybe living alone in a rural area where there is a very limited or non-existent broadband connection. Believe me, we have areas where you just cannot get broadband. I live in one of them. I had to go to extremes to get broadband put in here. So what's happening there is guys would like to finish their lunch on a Sunday, sit down and watch a match on TV, but they can't do it. Either they haven't got an internet connection or they haven't got any way of subscribing to this GA Go. There are some matches on free-to-air on the normal TV channel, which is fair enough, but only the bigger matches. So it's restricting the availability of the game to the people that like it, and it's caused an awful lot of furore. There's been questions asked in Parliament about it, but it's still there. GA is still charging the fee for it, and the actual games aren't being shown as much on free-to-air TV as they used to be. So that's the story with the GAA. Now, what else we're going to talk about? Let me just see now. What have we got? Apologies for this, lads. I've been really left out and hanging out to dry here at the moment. We've got a thing about. We're going to just talk Tottenham for a minute before Dermot comes back. I don't know. Did anybody see? I hope you've all seen it now. The video the club put out during the week, based on little Samuel's visit to the stadium last Saturday for the Wolves game. The story behind this is Samuel is. I think he's had a 5 or 7. I think he's 5. He might be 7. Has cerebral palsy. And it's only last year he managed to walk unaided for the first time. And his parents wrote to the club saying he was a huge Spurs fan, and could they possibly maybe let him come to a training session or come to the ground or something like that. Well, anyway, the club saw this letter, they wrote back, and they arranged for Samuel and his parents and his sister to be present at the game against Wolves last Saturday. He was brought into the tunnel to meet the players. They all signed a shirt for him. He was one of the mascots for the game. And before the match, James Maddison came out and James Maddison apparently is his favourite player. James Maddison came out and talked to him and asked him how he was and this, that, and the other. And then James Maddison walked out, not with the rest of the team, but walked out behind the team, linking young Samuel and bringing him out into the centre of the pitch. And the whole stadium just got on their feet and applauded him. I was nearly crying watching it. It was just such a beautiful thing to see a young lad who's got such a struggle ahead of him, probably having the day of his life, going to see his heroes playing. Now, it's just a pity we lost the match. But after the match, then it showed him getting his picture taken with Ange, with Sonny, with all the players. And they gave him the time of his life. And it was just incredible. So if you haven't seen it, it's on the Tottenham Hotspur channel. And it's one of the best. It's about 7 minutes long, and it's well worth a look. It just shows you that as a club, we mightn't do everything right. We might get things wrong. We've done it so many times in the past. But when it comes to little things like that, I think we are one of the better teams there. We've really, really gave that young fella. He'll never forget that day. Absolutely never forget it. And his parents were on saying thank you. They couldn't believe the reception they got and the hospitality that the club gave them. So that's that. Now, what else are we going to talk about? Yeah,
sorry about that. I'm back. I'm here.
Right, can I go off for 5 minutes now and get my breath together?
Yeah, of course you can.
Yeah, I'll be back in a minute.
Of course. Yeah, okay. I'll take you. All right. Right. Okay, so I don't know how far Philip has got as he goes. I do apologise about that. Something actually came up here and I had to go. It was a bit of an emergency here, so I had to come off. So I do apologise to everyone.
Dermot, I've done that thing about the TV deals. I couldn't go any further on it because I had nothing to
that's
go
fine.
On. And I've talked about the GA in Ireland, and I've talked about Samuel and the video.
Yeah.
At the game at the Spurs. So that's as far as I got.
Yeah, right. Well, if you see here, Philip, right, these are
I'll be back in a sec.
Okay. This is a league of the top leagues in Europe and how they are ranked between the top 10, basically, of TV deals within Europe. Now, as you can see, the Premier League is number first in the league. There were a number of live games. It's over 200 games. But the value per game is 8.16 million. As you go down the league, the Bundesliga is second, Serie A is third, La Liga in Spain is fourth, League One in France is fifth. And then the NFL is in the sixth place there, which I'm quite surprised, but that's 753,000 normally. And then you go down to the Portuguese league, the Brazilian league, then the United States Major League Soccer. And then in 10th place is Scotland with the Scottish Premier League. Now, they show a number of live games is 60, and of course it's only 379,000. So if you look at it that way, the TV deals the Premier League gets is probably good money. It's probably good for value. But does it really represent good money, good value for money for the rest of the clubs outside the Premier League in the Football League pyramid? And does it reflect that teams in League One, League Two, the National League, and the National League North and South get any quarter of the 6.5 billion the Premier League sold the TV rights for the next TV rights pyramid? Now, for me, it doesn't, because we know full well that the Premier League and Championship, that's as far as it goes. Very little goes down into League One, League Two, and the National League. And for me, it doesn't. For me, it should be even out more evenly. Now, in what way should it be more even? Spread out more evenly? It should be spread out more of a. The Premier League gets so much, but more of a percentage goes to more to the leagues lower down in the pyramid. People seem to forget that the players like Ian Wright in the past and players like that all come from non-league football. They're all starting non-league football, and they work their way up in the leagues. But how many clubs over the last 20, how long's the Premier League been going now? 30 years, have actually gone to the wall over the last 30-year pyramid? And if you look at the pyramid there, Philip, right? Do you feel that I think it should be more of an even spread with the TV money. 6.7 billion for the Premier League rights. Shouldn't that more go to the lower league of the pyramid than the top, than say the Championship, but more to League One and League Two or the National League?
Well, they're going to say the teams that are on TV most should get the most money. I'd love to know what trickles down to the National League. I'd say it's a pittance.
Yeah.
So pittance. I mean, let's face it, those clubs are suffering. I keep harping on about this. In years gone by, League One, League Two, and National League made their money by selling players up to the higher leagues. That is not happening now because of all the players coming in from abroad. These leagues are struggling for players to make a breakthrough, and they're struggling for money. And I'd love the FA to come clean, actually come out and tell us how much exactly goes down to the lower leagues. I'd say they're probably ashamed to do it. That's what they want.
Yeah. I just sent you a private message. Why, Philip? Just explain to you so you know why I had to go off. Sorry about that.
Yeah. Okay.
So I do apologise. But you look at how many teams do you think has gone bust, Philip, or gone to the wall over the last 30 years since the Premier League's gone into existence?
There's not that many have gone bust. They've gone to a lot of teams have gone into lower leagues. Like the team I always remember going bust first in the 60s was Accrington Stanley.
Did they go bust in the 60s?
They went bust in the 60s. Now they've come back since. But I'd say there's maybe only half a dozen teams gone to the wall. But Bury did it. Bury went to the wall. They're probably the most recent one to do it.
Yeah. Oldham are in the National League.
Yeah, but they're still there. You know what I mean? They're still there. Halifax, Bradford. There used to be two teams in Bradford. Bradford City and Bradford. Bradford went bust. There's not that many of them, but it's when you fall out, unless you're a Luton, when you fall out of the top league and back into the National League, it's a hell of a struggle to get back in. And
do you know what pisses me off, Philip? And I think it does you as well. I'd like it to the League of Ireland over here, right? You use always the big example that government should not get involved within sport or within football itself.
Not on the administration side of it, no. Because they can't run their own job, never mind anybody else's. And
you look over here today, I don't know if you saw it in the news, Philip, there was the FAI were brought up in front of the...
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah. And they spent some of the funding on, what was it, COVID payments?
No, they repaid some of the loans with COVID payments, which is apparently against the regulations.
Yeah. So should the Premier League... I mean, the Irish government fund the FAI. and then that money goes to the supposedly goes into the game in Ireland. Should there be some government or governing body that stands over the Premier League that makes sure this money does get given out evenly to all the lower teams, Philip? There has to be something put in place.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be in the government. I mean, they should be, FA should be able to put some of their own. I just don't want to see government ministers coming around them because they'll only cock it up. They really will. It should be done. There should be some form of independent arbitrator, maybe from a firm of accountants or something like that, to put in the job to keep an eye on the money going through. Yeah, definitely agree with that. I mean, the FA, I think today was a farce. I mean, they were talking about some guy got £12,000 holiday money because he took a joking email seriously about, can you get that for me as well or something, and sent the other guy 12 grand. But it's the financial incompetence. That all goes back to John Delaney. We will never ever get an easy ride with the government because of that John Delaney fellow who ripped the FAA off for thousands.
So the Premier League, aren't they ripping off the lower leagues then?
They're not ripping them off, but they're not giving them a fair deal. Okay, you could say they are ripping them off in the very sense of the word. Yeah. But what they need to do is they need to agree, right, we are going to give 10% or 5% or whatever of our gross revenue down to the lower league. And so everyone knows that's the figure. It's published every year. It's easy enough to administer. And that's what's needed. Now, maybe there is, excuse me, maybe there is an ad hoc agreement in place, so not in a wink job, that they'll give so much every year to but I think it needs to be made public. It needs to be out there so the lower league clubs know exactly what they're getting every year, so they can budget and pay their players properly. Because some of the players playing for those lower league teams, I guarantee they're on very small money. Yeah. Really small money. Yeah.
Carl says, for me, it doesn't, but it could be a basis in the fact that we are a Premiership supporting club who have been in the top flight. If I was a lower division club, would feel different. And do you feel that, Philip? Do you get what Carl's trying to say here? Because we support a Premier League team, that we don't bother about the lower league.
Well, because it's all right. I'm all right, Jack. That's I'm all right, Jack. To hell with the rest of you. That's the way it is. And the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. That's just the way it's going.
So what needs to happen for you? This is why I love tapping into your knowledge, Philip. You watch the more football than I have. You've seen it from the 60s where it was a working man's game. Yeah, and I've seen it going into a prawn sandwich brigade game.
It is. It's a Roy Keane quote game now. Prawn sandwiches.
If you could bring in one law either from government level or from a football federation level, either from FIFA or UEFA or an independent body, what one law would you bring in to change something in football that needs to be changed to help these lower league teams out?
I would go to say that each lower league team, right, submits their accounts every year to an independent accountant, firm of accountants, right? And if they should be given an allowance from the TV money to cover their costs. Not all their costs, but they know if a club's at loss making or making a profit, if it's making a loss, they should be given money to make sure they don't make a loss, and enough to run their clubs, on a professional basis, because they're probably getting crowds of 100 or 800, 900 or 1,000 people. That doesn't balance the books. No. So there's got to be money trickling down from the top, and that's got to be administered by someone who knows what they're at and is fair and equitable and open and transparent. So that every year, every club is listed. They got this. Accrington got this. Solihull United got this. You know what I'm saying? So that everyone knows what they're getting.
So should the Premier League clubs then take it upon themselves? Because they were in the meeting today, Philip, to vote for the new funding for the EFL, for the whole League One, League Two. Now, they rushed into a meeting because of this independent regulator that's coming in from the government. Is it getting too messy now? Is it because the Conservatives, this is only out here, but are they using football as an election tool? Do you know I'm getting that? With the election coming up, they're behind in the polls. Are they using football as an election tool so they can get more votes in a general election?
I don't know. I don't know to be that stupid, really, because let's face it, I mean, I think the problem with the government at the minute is they've so much else on their plate, right?
Yeah.
They're trying to get re-elected. They're not going to get re-elected. They've got the scandal in the House of Parliament at the minute with the Speaker. I think football is very far down their list of priorities at the minute, right? Now, I'll just have to be trained of thought there. Say the question again, Dermot, because I was thinking ahead there and I forgot what you asked me.
Yeah. It's like, will the Conservatives use, with this independent regulator trying to come into football, will they use it as an election tool to gain more votes from football?
If it's independent,
yeah,
it should be nothing to do with politics.
Yeah.
If it's appointed by the Conservative government, then it's not independent. That's what I'm saying. It's got to be an independent, somebody from an accountancy firm or some of the big Price Waterhouse Cooper or whatever. The likes of that, they can come in and do it. And as I said, make everything transparent. Now, you asked the question there with the Premier League teams not take it on themselves to do something. There's more chance of, more chance of Luton winning the Premiership this season than that happening. Yeah. I think what they could do, they might adopt a team as kind of a nursery club.
Yeah.
And feed them that way, because then it's in their own best interest to do that. But as regarding, can you imagine Daniel Levy looking up at, what would you say, Salford City or some team in the lower? I feel sorry for me. Here's £1 million. Yeah, right.
Yeah. No, but you look at Wrexham, who got Hollywood funding.
Yeah.
You look at Salford,
private funding, though.
Yeah, private funding. You look at Salford, the class of '92.
Yeah.
I feel sorry for the other fans. You look at Notts County; they lost that, get promoted back into the league because Wrexham could buy anyone they want. They were the Man City of the non-league.
That's right.
Does something have to be put into place, Philip, that owners of oil-rich countries? And another thing that's bugged me, that Man City used taxpayer money again to build their stadium. And that's
what 10, 15 years. Yeah, that was built though around the time the Etihad crowd got involved with them, wasn't it? That was built around 2008, 2007. So they're probably claiming that was nothing to do with them, As regarding private money, I've nothing against private money coming into the game, like Ryan Reynolds and your man McElhenney, whatever you call him. But it's when the likes of Etihad Airways come in and blatantly try and hide the money they're putting in. That's what I have a problem with.
And that YouTube video needs to be watched, Philip. Watch that again. It's scandalous.
Yeah. And by the way, there's another Netflix film out. If anybody watched it the first time around, think about Sunderland. There's part 2 of that is out now. Another series about Sunderland. I haven't started yet.
Sunderland?
At Sunderland, the first one was when Niall Quinn was in charge.
Yeah.
Not Niall Quinn. They brought in. I think it was Chris Coleman they brought in as manager.
Oh, yeah.
And this is about the relegation into League One and coming back up again. So the first series was very good. I'm going to watch the second one over the weekend.
Well, before we move on to the second subject, Philip, there's more to talk about this, and that there really is. But you look at that pyramid again, Philip, and just to give a final thought on this before we move on about the FA Cup and TV rights and that. Do you think that pyramid is done right, Philip? You've worked in finance all your life, right? So how does the money, if you can explain it to a Joe Blog like me, how is the money supposed to trickle down?
Trickle down economics doesn't work. Ronald Reagan tried it in America. It doesn't work because it never reaches the people it's supposed to get to. Yeah. It goes so far and stops there, right? So it doesn't work. Okay. I suppose in fairness, the Premier League clubs do deserve the greatest slice of it because they are the ones that provide most of the entertainment, the matches on TV and whatever, right?
Yeah.
But I think what they should do is they should take the whole thing as 100%, right?
Yeah.
Work out how many leagues they're going to support, be it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Say there's 8 leagues there, right? Is it 7 or 8? 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. We'll say it's 8 leagues, right?
Yeah.
They say, right. The top league gets 40%.
Right.
The second league gets 20%. The third league gets 10%, and work it down slower because as you go further down, the running costs aren't as high.
Yeah.
The wages aren't as high. So you do it on a kind of a sliding scale. That's the way I would do it. Now, it's a lot more, that's the simplistic way of saying it, but that's the way I would do it. And because I think that slide that I couldn't see earlier, it was the 8 million per match the Premiership gets.
Yeah, well, I read them out again. It's a quite what it is, Philip. It's the top 10 of TV deals in Europe, right? And 8.16 million is value per game in the Premier League. Now they show over 200 live games, so it's 8.16. Then the Bundesliga is second, 3.61. Serie A third, 3.17, and so on and so on.
Well, if you look at the Championship there in sixth position, right, they get 753, which is 10% of what's coming into the Premiership match.
Yeah.
Now, surely there's not a 90% gap between the Premiership and the Championship.
Yeah.
So I think the Championship money is they're being bit hardly done by them.
There's all value. So that's the value of the league, basically the value of the entertainment of the league. That's what that sort of money is there. You look at the Scottish Premiership, Philip, 60 games. So their value is 379,000.
And Celtic and Rangers are the guaranteed feature in 40 of those matches.
Yeah. Even Major League Soccer is got more value per game than the Scottish Premiership.
Yeah, I know.
Even the Championship, which should be down the bottom, is 6. I mean, that really shocked me. The Championship 6 in the league.
Yeah, but I still think the Championship in England, right? To me, is as good a quality as some of the major leagues in Europe.
Yeah,
it's as good as not France, Italy, Spain, or Germany.
Yeah,
but the likes of maybe Austria, Switzerland. Countries like that, the Championship is up there because I mean some of the best games this season I've watched have been in the Championship.
Yeah, they have. They have, Philip.
They're very entertaining, and the fact that they have to play so many of them, that's why the league is a bit of a yo-yo. Okay, it's not this season, but I really enjoy the Championship. I think it's well worth a visit.
Yeah. I think League One and League Two quite good to watch as well.
Well, they are when you don't see that many of them now, but yeah.
What's the point? Thfc says, I'm a giant rabbit and I eat giant Brussels sprouts.
Good for you.
Yeah, I don't want to know what comes out the other end. And Carl says, Philip is in level 1 for appearance fee on other channels. Roland.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm going to change my Rolls Royce tomorrow because the ashtray's full.
Of what? Of them funny fags again?
Yeah, that's it. Jaffa cake.
Jaffa cake, yeah. Just very quickly, Philip, we didn't get to talk about it later, but I thought we'd talk about it tonight, and then we'll go on to the FA Cup.
Yeah.
Daniel Alves, a very famous player, Philip, famous for Barcelona, I think, if I can remember rightly, in Spain, has been sentenced to 4.5 years in prison after sexually assaulting a woman at a club. Then, rightly so, Philip. I think he's done the crime. He's done the crime. Should do the time.
Yeah, I'll tell you one thing. I wouldn't fancy his life for the next 4 years in a Brazilian jail. Also, it would have been 9 years. Only Neymar gave him 150,000 quid to pay off the woman. If he hadn't done that, he would have got 9 years. So we can thank Neymar for not having a much longer stretch. Neymar's a good friend of his.
Are you joking me?
No, I'm serious. I'm serious. That's it. That's absolutely dead. You look it up.
I believe you. I'm so shocked that happened.
Neymar and like Danny Alves, I would have thought he would have been, made a few bob over his career. He mustn't have. He's blown it all. I don't know what the hell it's gone to. But Neymar lent him the money to pay off. I'll just bring it up here now because I couldn't believe it myself when I saw it. But let's see now.
Then why has he not been done for corruption or done for?
No. This was part of the deal. This was part of the deal.
You're joking.
Yeah.
Give her 150. Give her 150,000, and we give you 4.5 years.
Yeah, I'll just read it out. Here
if I was the woman, I would have not accepted that.
Yeah, here it is now. Hold on. It says the court ordered Alves to pay 150,000 euros in compensation to the victim, banned him from approaching the victim's home or place of work, and from communicating with her by any means for 9 years. It appears now that in the letter thing that if he hadn't done that, he would have got 9 years.
How come it hasn't been done for? I cannot believe a court has said, right, here's your deal. Give her money and we give you less time in prison.
Yeah, here's it here. The court in its sentence said it considered favorably for Alves that he had, before the trial, paid the court €150,000 to be given to the victim without any conditions attached. So he bought his way out of the last 4.5 years. Yeah, that's it. It's all there in black and white.
Then that starts my question, Philip. Are footballers in another planet?
Well, look, you've got Mason Greenwood. Look what he's been through.
Yeah.
Thomas Partey of Arsenal.
Yeah.
Who I think is still under a bit of a cloud.
Is he still under investigation?
I'm not so sure. I don't know. I'm not going to comment on that because we get into trouble. But it seems to me that these guys think because they're famous, because they're footballers, they can do what they like with women, and it's disgusting. It really is.
Roster Point says giant green dingle balls come out the other end. It's very painful.
Oh, dear.
I should proofread these before I start bringing these up, to be fair.
I think so.
And then
anyway, Carl, that's more or less saying what I was saying. They might help pay off a couple of women, stop them from giving Elvis more of a sentence.
I can't believe that. Boris Britt says
it was done before the trial started. It was an agreement, not yesterday or today. It was done in advance of the trial, so he kind of knew he bought himself a more lenient sentence.
Yeah. Did you see there was something on the news the other day, Philip? I saw some Colombian or Mexican drug lord built his bit like Escobar built his own prison, right? And the Mexican authorities raided it. You want to see his prison cell? It is like a full king-size bed,
swimming pool,
his own shower. He's got a 65-inch plasma TV on the wall, all the latest consoles. Right, it's a picture of him with, you know what's on the picture.
Yeah.
Right,
yeah.
and I'm thinking that if that was you and me, we'd be stuck in the harshest Mexican prison going with Mexican Bob as your cellmate asking you to bend over.
And you wouldn't drop the soap anyway, that's for sure.
Yeah, bloody wouldn't want to drop the soap. That's for sure. As that was in Del Boy, wasn't it? At the end, would you go into the showers ahead of me? Boris Brick says, well, £150,000 into Brazilian currency is $942,074.91. Brazilian real. That's a lot for people in Brazil, so I'm not surprised.
Yeah, it was actually in euros, so it'd be slightly less than that, but still a lot of money.
It is. David Shear. Good morning. It says,
"G'day."
Good morning. The system is broken.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, Danny Alves. I think he thought because of his status and everything and national hero that he'd get away with it. But it just shows you, the law can be enforced without fear or favor.
I once said Tony Adams went to prison for a while, didn't he, for drink driving?
That's true. Yeah.
George Best went inside for a while for hitting a policeman. Well, apparently he slipped.
Yeah.
That was his excuse. He says, I slipped, Your Honor.
Yes.
Yeah, right. We believe that. Elvis would live quite happily in prison. He would be treated like royalty, probably manage the prison team.
It depends what prison he gets. I think some of the Brazilian prisons now, not exactly, let's just face it, they wouldn't be in the 5-star Michelin guide.
Yeah. David says, soap on a rope. Why do I say these things? Anyway, make sure you always Vaz
get a proofreader, will you?
Why did I bring it up?
Jesus.
David. Oh, sorry. That is bad. Damn you, dyslexia. Damn. That's what I'm blaming it on. YouTube, I can't read. I'm sorry. We need to hire a proofreader. Sounds like a movie, Carl. Soap on the road. I know Dave. Same happened with Ronaldinho.
Yeah.
Did it?
Something happened. Yeah, it stirs a memory there. I'll have to look it up. And there's something more Ronaldinho.
And Carl's just fell off his chair. His missus looking at him thinking, what's he been saying? Carl's just home and she's rolling around on the floor with him. I'm not going to bring up the last one, Carl.
No, I think not. No offense, Carl, but we'll leave that one out, I think.
We'll leave that one out.
Yeah.
And we're leaving.
And also, David will leave your one out as well. No offense, lads, but we don't want to get taken off the air,
No. Trust our lively debate show turn into absolute.
God.
I swear to God, we should do an after 11 show. 18.
Well, we're after 9. You're after the watershed now. With Danny Alves, you've a lot to answer for. So
yeah. Anyway,
this off. Right.
Amazon, Philip. You love Amazon.
Do
you
I?
like a bit of shopping on Amazon?
I don't actually. I've never bought on Amazon. I've never bought a thing on Amazon.
Well, they have gone and bought, Philip, the FA Cup for $1.5 billion in a 4-year deal. That means the FA Cup is going behind the paywall for the first time ever. Now, Amazon has secured the UK's broadcasting rights to UEFA Champions League, or this is UEFA Champions League. Sorry. Deal worth $1.5 billion for the next 4 years, I think 24 to 27. Pay TV network BT Sport had aired the Champions League, Philip, after 2015, when worth $299 million. Do you see the difference in how much it's gone up from 299 million now to 1.5 billion?
Yeah.
Now,
but the thing about that is, the only good thing about that is, now I'm not an Amazon customer, but if you are, I believe you get access to Amazon Prime, so you might be able to get the matches without having to pay through the nose for them. You know?
Yeah. Now, Philip, the good thing about this is the BBC get the highlights still for the Champions League, the European Championship.
Who wants highlights, Tommy? If you have a chance of watching the match live, chances are you're gonna, unless you turn the radio off and switch your phone off, you're gonna know the result before you watch the highlights. You know?
Yeah. So where are you with this paywall, Philip? Pay to watch.
Oh, listen, I remember when the Premiership came in first in 1992, and B Sky B had it, right?
Yeah.
And Alan Sugar couldn't keep up with the demand for satellite dishes and little Amstrad boxes. They actually didn't charge. I think the first couple of seasons they allowed it out there free to air. Nobody had to pay, and then suddenly they thought, "Hang on a bit, this is costing us a bit too much money," so slapped in the fee then. But there was I'm not quite sure how long, but there certainly was at least one season where you could watch the Premiership for nothing. Now, I think it was to get it introduced to the public. It was new. It was a bit of a change. So that's maybe why that was done. But since then, it's been steadily rising. And I did a thing when you were off there, I was talking about dodgy boxes, and they are going to get even more popular because of the price of the pay-per-view.
They will. Now, I look, Boris Britt says here, I could take this off, but it will continue is that the new deal, which includes the Europa League and Europa Conference League, UEFA is up to abandon exclusively rights for the 24 and 25 season due to an increase of number of matches, Philip, from 32 to 36. Amazon will have the first pick of matches on the Tuesday night, though the semi-final with BT retaining the rest of the rights to the Champions League and the other leagues. And as I said, BBC now going to air a highlights program every Wednesday night, match of the day roundup to the Champions League. You and me should get on that gig.
Do you know, I'm surprised they've only stuck it to Tuesday night. And do you know why? You know that when you say say Real Madrid are playing Barcelona, right?
On the Wednesday,
No, hold on. They'll play the first leg on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
But the second leg will be on a Wednesday. So they're missing out there by doing that.
I never thought of it that way.
Yeah. You watch it, they're always played alternate night. You never play on Tuesday to Tuesday. It's always Tuesday, Wednesday, or Wednesday, Tuesday. Well, so they're losing out there by doing that.
Well, Philip, do you know where people need to come?
Come down to us and we'll tell them.
Exactly. You've just hit the nail in the head. You don't need a dodgy box. You don't need a satellite dish.
You might.
You might. But you could come to THFC Till I Die. We will give you the best watch along's going. Though it's more work for me and Philip. And me and Philip may just put in the bill into UEFA.
Which I'm sure will be paid straight away.
Yeah, Philip would just add a few noughts on the end of it.
Yeah. Well,
anyway.
Yeah, no, it's the same. Like it is going to mean that I've noticed an awful lot more advertisement for this. They call it IPTV.
Yeah.
I was on Twitter this evening now, and I must have seen 20 different adverts for IPTV. Now, the worry about that is, and the government keep highlighting this, is they reckon that those IPTV companies are controlled by criminals. And that you're actually funding terrorism and funding this, that, and the other by buying them. I don't know. I don't think Joe probably would give a shit about that if he's getting Manchester United versus City for nothing, you know?
Yeah. But do you believe that, though? Or do you reckon that's...
No, I think a lot of it's down. I think a lot of these are individual guys that are just chancing their arm until they get shut down. But they will get shut down eventually. Like all the companies need to do is change the codes. And the whole thing goes and you've lost your money. But you've only lost 50 or 60 quid. Which isn't even a lot of money for some people. But it's only a month of Sky. You know what I mean?
That's true. That's true. David said, sorry, boys. Look, Don't apologise.
No,
Me and
Dave,
Philip,
we're only joking. We're only joking with you. You know,
we couldn't bring it up because YouTube has certain
regulations.
silly
Don't
you know,
like
me and
that type
Philip,
of thing. They don't like
yeah,
that type of thing.
you know, me and Philip we're a bit rebels on this channel, and we do like to push the boundaries. But that was not pushing the boundaries, David. That was actually putting a giant big leap into the unknown.
Oh, yeah, right.
And as for Chris's comment, right, that we would have been swallowed up completely by that.
Well, I'd say the YouTube police would be knocking on your door at this stage if you put that one up.
Yeah, Philip would get away with it. He actually would get away with it because the channel.
I'm further away.
Philip, there's just been a knock at my door.
Okay, I'll see you in 6 months.
See you in 10 years. Will you look after the channel for me when I'm doing free bread and breakfast?
Yeah. We do a live broadcast in Port Leash Prison.
Yeah. No, I've just come out of the showers and look a bit shell-shocked.
Come on, change the subject. Come on, back on the football. Quick.
Anyway, have we landed on the moon yet? Anyway, Echo.
No, another hour and 20 minutes for that.
Yeah. What's the point? Says, oh God,
that's another one.
Again.
No, you check these things when you put them up, for God's sake.
Derville, Mrs. Tron, yes. I'm now hiring you as a proofreader for comments that come onto my channel. There you go. We've hired somebody, Mrs. Tron. I must point out, I didn't mean the same for Alvarez and Ronaldinho. I can't remember what happened to Ronaldinho. David says here, I can't watch Premier League yet. Can watch European and FA Cup.
Oh, David, you're in Australia. Maybe the channel you're on doesn't cover them.
Boris says, I ain't paying 31 quid a month for TNT. This is the point, Philip. This is the point I'm getting at, right? I agree with Boris' point here, Brett here. I ain't paying 31 quid a month for TNT Sports, where I can keep keep paying for Amazon Prime. What gives you Amazon Video? What will give you the UEFA Cup matches?
Yeah, that's it. That's where Amazon will score heavily on this because it's not going to be big bucks to watch their matches.
Now, Philip, we do a lot of watch-alongs, don't we? And we do them for people that can't afford it. Do you think more people like us are going to start doing these watch-alongs on YouTube?
Yeah, it's difficult though, you know.
Yeah.
It's difficult to do a watch along when you literally haven't got the game in front of you to put
As
on the
we
screen.
found out the other week.
Yeah, well, that's true. That's true. I was watching it and Dermot wasn't. It was difficult.
That is a pure example of how not to do a watch along.
Yeah. But like, you know, I think
it's a valid point though, Philip.
All you can do is get the essence of the game across to people. Like explain how it's going. If Spurs are in the ascendancy or the other team are better or whatever. Or But the worst thing I find is now I'm very impatient. We could be watching the match and I'll synchronize with Dermot and he's always a minute or two behind me, right? Because and then I've got flash score up.
Yeah,
and the freaking score comes up about a minute before it happens, and I'm trying to keep myself from saying it. On Saturday, I just laughed. Fuck, I said Wolves have scored again about a minute before it came up on the TV. You know,
and we did one watch along, and you're there, right? I think it was against Sheffield United when we scored in injury time.
Yeah.
I didn't even see the goal. You go flying off the TV screen, doing your knee sliding, right? You didn't even get it on video, by the way. And I'm thinking, where the fuck's he gone? And then I see, that's why he's gone, right?
You should have guessed. You should have guessed.
But no, seriously though, people are going to turn to people like us, Philip.
Yeah.
Serious,
listen, we're an alternative. We're not the be all and end all. We can't show you the pictures, but we can give you a bit of crack during the match. We can discuss during the boring match. We'll go off and talk about something else totally unrelated, but it'll always be entertaining, you know. And then we can go back to the game and something happens.
Yeah. Apparently, we've been told we can make a boring game sound entertaining.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just.
And we're not even Arsenal fans. We're not even Arsenal fans.
I know. The whole.
By the way, well done Arsenal last night. Well done Arsenal last night. Not even one shot on target.
Philip was so happy last night. He went out and did a lap of honour around the bingo hall, celebrating with people on his shoulders and everything.
No, I got badly caught last night. I was telling you that.
About the Liverpool fan.
One of the lads in the regulars of bingo is a massive Liverpool fan. He's always giving me hell about Spurs, you know. So Liverpool were losing 1-0 at this stage.
Yeah.
When he won 100 quid. So I announced, I'm glad to see Liverpool are winning something tonight, you know. So, he got his own back on me at the end, though. He got his own back at the end.
Sorry for Luton last night, actually.
Yeah.
But no, Boris says, oh yeah, we read that one now. We've got Boris says, oh, well, the finals of the Champions League, Europa League, and Conference League are always streamed on YouTube. Yeah, they are actually.
Yeah, that's true.
I found a lot of the Bundesliga's now being streamed on YouTube as well, Philip.
Good. Yeah.
Nah, Carl, not yet. Our free channels is fully on.
Full of reality shows and 5-hour movies full of ads. Yeah. Well, that's It's why I was sitting watching my phone, watching Phil and Davey going off commentating. Us and Mr. Harris. Now, breaking news, guys. There is going to be, I don't know how to describe this new podcast, Philip, we're doing, but it's going to be uncensored, isn't it? Mayhem. That's what's going to be.
Myself, Philip, and Dave are doing a podcast, once a month podcast. If you look at the Gary Lineker, Michael Richards, and Alan Shearer podcast, that's going to be what it's going to be like. So we're getting one podcast a month out. It's going to be an hour and a half full of mayhem where Philip Brady can be unleashed. I can take the collar off him. I can take the leads off him and give everyone the full Philip Brady experience. Now, we may only get one broadcast out of this.
It'd be fun while it lasted anyway.
Yeah, it was fun while it lasted, but do you know what? I think you need to let off a bit of steam on some of these subjects, Philip, now and again.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. True. Yeah. It just depends on the mood I'm in at the time, you know. Yeah.
Well,
but I can just go off on things at times, though. So just be warned.
I will do it. I won't do it without a Tottenham loss. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, don't do it a day Spurs lose because that would be too much to take.
They get shut down, of course. Dermo and his cockerel cock. Oh, for fuck's sake. People are asking for that podcast to come back, by the way.
Yeah. What's the price of a name like that?
Yeah. Maybe if they rip off people would pay. What's the point? Says, the YouTube gets our are at Dermo's front door. Yeah, they are. They've gone away now. Carl saying Dermo in. Do you want to read this one out?
Dermot in a regular recreational live stream with Big Gary and Crazy James live from.
What's the point? Says I stand outside my local pub and look at the television through the window.
You actually can go inside and watch them. You know, it's not illegal.
Yeah, you can actually ask for a glass of water and they will give it to you.
Yeah, exactly. It's illegal to refuse tap water.
It is.
Yeah. They might throw it over your head, but it's illegal to ask for it, not illegal to drink it.
Who is the tech? This big up Shamu. Who is the techie and can work on emojis for the members for the channel?
I don't understand half these emojis.
I will do. I'll sort that out. It's great. All channels are only about $150 a month.
What? Wow.
That's Sky, I think. And
that's about it. Yeah, that's about a complete package with Sky.
Yeah,
that's about right. It's expensive.
What's the point? Says I have an attention span of a bird flying into a window.
Good. Yeah.
Right.
Let's get on.
Carl, I think you should recreate the highlights down the park. Philip should actually. Your grandchildren play soccer, don't they, or GAA?
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
You should actually go down and do a one of them non-league game. And we'll do the watch along to it, Philip.
They're not that good.
So look. So where are you with this then, Philip? Where are you with paywall? Because now the FA Cup has now been bought onto a paywall now.
That's TNT who bought the FA Cup, isn't that right?
Yeah. So the FA. Let me get it here. I have got it here. I have got what the deal is worth. Now, that's right.
We've done that. Yeah, we've done that.
Hang on, let me get. Where am I going? Oh, here we go. Now, this is sort of the bullet points of the deal, Philip. Right? Selected matches will be live on TNT Sports and on free-to-air from the first round to the final, which we get now. The new deal will see more Emirates FA Cup ties broadcast than before, with every game from the third round outside the 3 p.m. kickoff being shown live. I think they should show the 3 p.m. kickoffs for it. I think
They
that's
won't.
a
They won't. They're
stupid
not
blackout.
allowed to. They're not allowed to. The thing is, you're only going to have about maybe 10 games other than like there's 32 matches played in the third round of the FA Cup.
Yeah.
So how many of them can they physically show? Not more than 6 or 7.
Yeah.
Maybe 8.
Now, how long, Philip, will it take for this to go fully behind the paywall?
Probably a couple of years. But to be honest with you, I haven't watched an FA Cup final in about 15 years, and I don't see that changing anytime soon.
Oh yeah, we're doing it this year.
No, but I'm saying I wouldn't watch it if personally I wouldn't watch it.
Yeah.
You know.
Are we doing the League Cup final on Sunday? We are, aren't we?
Are we?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, you don't have to if you don't want to.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to think ahead. What's on Sunday?
Well, I know Ireland, the rugby watch along's back.
No, the rugby on Saturday. The rugby's on Saturday.
Yeah.
Have to do that. Yeah, I probably will. All right, But geez, Chelsea, Liverpool. They wish the ground had opened up and swallowed the two of them.
Anyway, and then the Emirates FA Cup will be available on TNT Sports and free to air, Philip. And then the deal enables the FA to provide valuable investment into grassroots football.
Yeah,
Philip, how long have they been saying grassroots football and investment? It's something like the new thing that the FAI have brought out today about grassroots foot Sunday. Do you remember the summer schools?
Yeah. Valuable investment in grass. You know what they'll probably do? They'll probably buy 2 or 3 full-size footballs for every school in the country, and that's it. The same with huge investment into grassroots football.
Now, Kevin Keoghan, as you know, Philip, Ireland star, Ireland hero.
Big long throw-in fella, wasn't he?
Yeah. Said last night on RTE that Wexford, my county, is the best county in Ireland for soccer.
I think Dublin would disagree with you there.
Yeah, well, I don't care what Dublin says. Wexford's number 1. You muted yourself, Philip.
I'm sorry. I don't know, Dermot. I don't know much about football in Wexford. You've only got Wexford Youths, and then Division 1.
Yeah, but the point he was making, everyone would leave to go to GAA. Look, comes back to it again, Philip. Do government have to put money into grassroots football? You can't.
Yes, but they won't. They won't do it. They won't do it. There'll be if the government put money into the FAI, GAA will start saying, "Oh, that crowd, they can't manage their own affairs, and they're paying out money that shouldn't be." You give the money to a good organisation, good Irish organisation. That's what's going to happen. That's what the 50 million has gone up to Casement Park for. The only way the government will give money to grassroots soccer, I'll call it soccer now in Ireland, is if there's a European fund they can dip into. They're not going to give their own money.
And so should FIFA and UEFA now should come in then? This is the point I'm making.
You're flogging a dead horse here. You're flogging a dead horse.
How corrupt is football as a whole that grassroots is the future of sports? It's the future of players coming through. At least GAA invest in their grassroots for them. And you've got to give them credit.
Oh, yeah, I do. They do. But I'll tell you one thing. I'll go back to the foreign player influx as well. Yeah. That's caused an awful lot of the degeneration of grassroots football because players know that unless they're extremely good, they're not going to make it. Unless the League of Ireland might be their standard, they're not going to make it into the Premiership because you've got Carlos Kickaball coming in from Spain.
I don't believe that, Philip. I don't. It's
easy. But surely the amount of foreign players coming into the game has reduced the chances for the homegrown players.
Yeah, but you could. That's an easy argument, I think, to make, Philip.
Within
reason,
it's true.
I think it is.
Yeah.
Because if you look, it's down to the clubs to produce these players, Philip. It's down to the clubs to have the best, academies. Look, there was major European players coming in when Ferguson brought in the class of '92.
Yeah, but there wasn't nothing like the level there is now, Dermot. Nothing like the level. Why do you think each club has got to have a minimum of homegrown players now? Because if they didn't have that, there'd be no homegrown players. They'll be all foreign players.
So David is saying, hence, no strong national teams.
Exactly. Yeah, our Irish team is suffering badly because of the lack of talent coming through in the English game at the moment.
But how's that affecting us, Philip, when we cannot produce our own talent in this country?
Yeah, but no, John. It all works with this. Like you've got a young lad, 15 years of age, playing for Wexford Youth, right?
Yeah.
Scout from Tottenham goes over and sees him, right?
Yeah.
And brings him over. Okay.
Yeah.
Next thing, the same club signs a player in the same position as the young lad from Spain, who's already 2 steps ahead of him in the pecking order. The Spanish guy gets into the first team. The other guy goes through the motions of the reserves and sold off to Halifax Town. That is the problem. There is not enough. Now, I think Ange Postecoglou is trying to rectify that at Tottenham. He's put great scope into the academy.
Yeah.
He's taken great interest in the academy. So I think a couple of years down the road, you'll find Tottenham will be one of the few clubs that are actually producing homegrown players, and I say homegrown, English and Irish, into their first team squads, because they see the future. You cannot afford to be paying 15, 20, 30, 40 million quid for a player from Spain who may or may not make the grade in the Premiership.
So then FIFA or UEFA should come in with a ruling that each national team, say 2 or 3 players, have to be produced by that country. Have to come through the ranks. You cannot pick or Tottenham, whatever. You have to make sure you play 1 or 2 players, English players, or for Ireland, Irish players that come through your own academy.
That's not going to work, I don't think. Not yet, anyway. The fact that you've got to have, I don't know how many homegrown players you have to have in your squad of 25.
Yeah.
That's the start of it. That's the first rung on the ladder to doing what you were saying there. But that's a huge step to say what you're doing, because you'll have all the other leagues crying foul. I mean, let's face it, everyone in Europe, every player in Europe wants to come to the Premiership.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and that is doing away with the places for the young lad, and will do for the foreseeable future until something changes.
Yeah, look, Philip, we're going to finish off soon because I know you have to go off.
Yeah, I've got to go actually. So.
Yeah, look, where can you look with all the TV deals, Philip, and all the major sporting going behind the paywall? Will there become a fine, say in 10 years' time, Philip, that there be no sports on free? Well, technically, it's not free to air because you pay your TV license. So technically,
that's always been there. So there's always been a TV license. So that's not really a problem, you know.
Will there become a time, Philip? Can you see it in our lifetime that there be no sports on free to air, and that includes Wimbledon, the Olympics, everything?
No, I think the Olympics is safe enough. I think the Olympics will stay free to air. There was talk that Wimbledon might go. Maybe it will. Test cricket was supposed to stay free to air. It didn't. Formula One, golf has gone the same way.
Don't talk to me about Formula One.
Formula One used to be free to air. It's not anymore.
167 million a season Sky pay Formula One.
Yeah.
That's
mad. No, I tell you, there's a long road ahead. The sports that will, the major sports will always be. Do you know what's? But I don't class it as a sport. But you know what? The next one I reckon will go behind paywall is dart.
Well, it already is, Philip.
Maybe it is already. I don't watch it.
The Premier, it is on dart. I mean,
but I'm saying the World Championships. Yeah. You know, that'll be the next one to go.
It's like GAA over here, Philip. That will eventually go behind the paywall.
Yeah. Well, it is already. I've discussed that. It is with G for Go. GAA for Go, you know. But then again, at 79 quid for a season, it's not too bad.
No, I looked at the League of Ireland TV. That gives you access to all the leagues. €120 for the season.
Yeah, there you are. That's not bad. That's but for 6 months, it's 20 quid a month for the season.
Yeah, not bad. See, what gets me about this paywall, people cannot afford, and this is the rise of the dodgy boxes. That's
what I'm saying. The dodgy box, the dodgy box will continue to thrive, while Sky and the likes of them charge these extortionate fees.
So, last question on this, Philip, and then we'll tell people what's coming up next few days. I'm big up to David here, who's gifted a membership, Philip.
Oh, very nice.
He's gifted 1 membership, so big up to you, David. You're very kind. And he's gifted it to George. George has been gifted a membership. So big up George when you come in. Thank David. Also big up the side dancer who come in as well. Big up side dancer. Great to see you in. Last question on this, Philip. Would look, if Sky and all the major companies pulled out sport, could there be a massive influx of? Will it go back to how it was before?
If Sky pulled the money out of football, the day of the £50 million player would disappear. The day of the 200 grand a week would disappear. It'd be like the best thing I can suggest. It would be like the stock market crash in America of 1929 when everybody lost everything. It would just go back to grassroots again. It'd be a disaster for the game, but it might be what's needed to reset the boundaries a little bit, because I think stop things getting more out of hand than they are already.
Does all sport have to? Do you feel all sports should come back onto free to air?
Well, that's probably not going to happen unless there's Sky go bust or something like that. But obviously, the ideal situation, yes, it would be that, but it's not going. That's never going to happen. There's always going to be. There's always
should
going to be.
Sky just say, right, guys, this is what we're going to do, like they did in the pandemic. We're gonna broadcast everything on free to air, but we do the broadcasting, but we're giving it to you guys.
Yeah, I don't think they're as generous as that. I'm just wondering if they did that for a season, right? Say they did it for a season, give everything free to air, no subscriptions, right? But then said, right, and come the 1st of September next year, we're going back on to pay-per-view, right?
Yeah,
that might actually suit them, because the people that saw we're getting it for nothing, I missed it. I'm going to have to pay for that because I can't go without it. And they might end up paying them for the following year. You know what I mean?
The people that can afford it, Philip.
Can afford it, yeah, that's exactly it.
But it's people that can't afford it.
Exactly. As long as they keep the price low, keep the price low.
So if people can't afford it, then this is the place to come, isn't it?
That's true. That's true.
No, seriously though.
That's true.
And but anyway, look.
Anyway, I think after that, I think I need a drink Wraith. After that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Do you want to plug?
Yeah. Look. See there. Where are we? Up there.
Yeah. Yeah. And up above you.
See the QR code. Scan that, and you get 10% off your first order if you put in THFC TID. It's Drink Wraith. It's a gaming energy drink. Dermot's ordered the bathwater one, which I'm really, really intrigued to know about when that comes. Dermot's drinking the bathwater. But
I'm doing that live on air, by the way.
They have a whole load of other good products, good tasty products, and beanies and T-shirts and whatever. So get over to the website, wraith.com.
Yeah.
And it's not Wraith Rovers now, it's WRAITH.
Yeah. Forfeit, Mr. Brady, for the England-Ireland game.
Oh, it's still, I haven't changed it, Dermot. You've got to wear an England shirt.
No, I'm not wearing an England shirt. I'm telling you now.
Okay, let me see. Let's come up with something else. You go on to Bobby's Arsenal channel, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not going to ask you to wear an Arsenal shirt, but I'm going to ask you to sit through an Arsenal watch along without criticizing them and without being sarcastic and being
fine. I'll do that.
An Arsenal fan, right?
I'll do that. I'll do that. I've got no problem doing that.
And I'll be monitoring you now. One step out of line, and you're in trouble.
Oh God! Now, how long till they land on the moon?
1 hour and 57 minutes from now.
Right. I don't know if we can do a watch long to that or not. I may do. Actually,
I can't. I'm under evil eyes here at the minute. I'll have to finish.
Sorry, Mrs. Brady, you can have him now. Yeah. And again, I apologise for early on, Philip. You know why I sent you in the
that's fine. That's okay. Yeah, I could have shot you at the time, but I understand.
No, I know you could have shot me at the time. You like to shoot me most of the time. If I'm not here tomorrow, Philip, send the hit squad down.
The hit squad, yeah. Send the horse's head round first. Right?
No, big up to David. He's now become a watch-along member, Philip.
Oh, good man, David.
Now, we...
Get him on. We're going to get him on someday on a watch-along.
Should we get him on for the Palace game?
Yeah, if he's available, yeah.
If you're available, David, come on to the Palace game and join us for a watch-along. Or even join us for one of these football debates. We're going to start inviting members on for these football debates. So come on to the football debates as well. I'm sure Philip would like to debate somebody rather than me. You know?
I know. No. It'd be nice to have another.
No, you just want
another.
somebody fit. I'm not into Philip standing for debating. Philip's like a TD. He's like an
Come
MP.
on. Jesus.
He should be a political leader of Fianna Fáil or Fine Gael or Sinn Féin.
I'm the least political person you'll ever meet, I tell you.
Well, anyway, vote for president. Vote for Philip. He's running for the president of Ireland. Anyway,
Right.
well done, George. Big up, George. Never happened. Too much money in the game now.
Yeah, that's exactly.
No shirt, just a team headband.
Headband.
No word.
Not even that.
And can see it now.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
yeah.
Well, you're more than welcome. Philip, everyone hit the QR code for Wraith, NEGI official partners. Philip, thank you so much.
No problem.
I again apologize for
right.
earlier on, but you're always good to carry that. We're always good at carrying each other's.
Yeah, winging it, but then we got there.
Anyway, just a quick question, Philip. What we've got coming up? We've got the rugby watch along.
Rugby on Saturday. We've got news round tomorrow. We've no games to look forward to on Saturday, unfortunately. But anyway, we do the Rugby Ireland versus Wales on Saturday. I'm looking forward to that. And how many points for conversion terms? Now, don't be looking it up. 1. No, jeez.
For conversion.
God, it's so hard to get staff these days.
2.
Oh, he got it right. It's only the 58th
guessed.
time I've asked him. Anyway.
I guessed.
Anyway, we're doing Ireland versus Wales. See if Ireland can continue their march on to the Grand Slam.
Yeah.
We've already beaten. Who have we beaten? We've beaten France and we've beaten Italy. So yeah. So there you go.
And then me and Philip, he doesn't know it yet, but he probably know it now. We're going to try to Formula One we're doing this season. It's called trying to get Philip to be a Formula One fan. That's the idea of following this season, right? So Philip has no clue about Formula One. Now,
I know as much about Formula One as you know about rugby.
Yeah. Well, we always cover the first race. We've done the first race for the last couple of years, actually, Philip. Bahrain. We've always covered the first race live. You, me, and Brad. So we're going to cover every race and every qualifying session this season. Now, if it clashes with a game, what me and Philip have agreed, Philip's going to continue to do whatever game we're doing, and I'm going to go off and do the qualifying on our F1 channel. So we are going to work it like that, but it is. Philip will be with me for the race. It's called Educating Philip F1. Who does Lewis Hamilton strive for?
Mercedes.
Yeah, well done.
But Ferrari from next year.
Yeah, you need to go. You can go, Philip.
I have to go. I have to go.
Go on.
Listen, lads, I'll see you again. Thanks, Dermot. See you. Talk to you tomorrow.
See you in the morning. Bless me.
Bless you.
Bless you. Go on, my son. Anyway, there goes Mr. Brady. Well done, Philip. Thank you for holding the fort. I am not. Look, I said I'll go on to an Arsenal channel. I will do more forfeit. I'm not wearing an Arsenal shirt. I'm definitely not with Paul Merson on it. Carl, no. I love to and Tom Jones. Well, David, that is what the membership is for. You two have been streaming for 7 hours. Wow. No, we did have a bit of a break. But it's been good tonight. Carl, you can come on too both you can both got watch along memberships. So you're both welcome. Thfc till I Spurs. Oh shit, the F1 is on. I like that name actually. You're a funny man, Carl. He is. Well, listen, thank you all very much for watching. I'm now going to go off and watch the moon landing, or watch something land on the moon. You never know, we might see an alien or two. But on that bombshell, we are back tomorrow at 4, of course, with Newsbeat. I am going to do some F1 content over the weekend. Probably tomorrow or Saturday, there will be a recap of the whole testing week of who drivers are driving for, a bit of an introduction into Formula One 2024. So please come over and join me for that. That will be probably done tomorrow evening, actually. I'll probably do that stream tomorrow evening. What I'm going to do, we're going to do it live on our F1 channel, but I will put it live onto this channel as well and onto the Full-Time Sports Network. And we will go there. And Philip will join me and we'll go through the Formula One season, the calendar, races to watch out for, who to back as a driver. I could explain everything. And also, we've got around the rugby with around the grounds, of course, on Saturday. And then Sunday, we'll be doing something. Tuesday, we will be off. Whatever you do, enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you all for joining in. Big up to David Shearer as well. Big up for gifting one membership. And also big up for David for upgrading his membership to the Watch Along membership. Thank you all so much. Really appreciate your support. And don't forget, guys, do hit that QR code for Wraith Energy, our official partner, and you will get great stuff. I cannot wait to drink the bathwater on that bombshell. Come on, you Spurs. In Big Ange, we trust.